Hey, what's up, football fans? Welcome back to the channel. NFL Cowboys news today. We've got a super exciting and surprising story to talk about. It's one that could shake up the NFL in 2025 and leave fans buzzing with excitement. We're talking about none other than Michael Gallup, the former Dallas Cowboys wide receiver who's considering a comeback to the NFL after a very brief retirement. Yes, you heard that right. Gallup, who retired just last year, might not be done just yet. So, what's going on with the 29-year-old receiver? And what's the likelihood of him making a successful return to the league? Stay tuned because we're diving into all of this and more. Alright, so let's set the stage here. Michael Gallup is a name that's familiar to most Dallas Cowboys fans and NFL enthusiasts. For those who may not know, Gallup was drafted by the Cowboys in the third round of the 2018 NFL Draft, out of Colorado State. He quickly became known as a standout in his rookie season, showing off his great hands, solid route running ability, and impressive speed. When he first hit the field in Dallas, expectations were high, and he quickly made his mark as a reliable and talented wide receiver. But after some ups and downs with injuries and changing rosters, Gallup's career took an unexpected turn when he retired in July of 2024. At just 28 years old, Gallup's retirement took many people by surprise. He still had a lot of potential and ability left, and his departure from the game left a lot of fans and analysts scratching their heads. So, what led to Michael Gallup's retirement in the first place? Let's rewind a bit. Gallup spent the majority of his career with the Dallas Cowboys, playing for 6 seasons from 2018 to 2023. During that time, he became one of Dak Prescott's go-to targets, racking up 266 career catches, 3,744 yards, and 21 touchdowns in 86 regular season games. But Gallup wasn't just productive in the regular season, he also had some impressive moments in the playoffs, with 19 catches for 286 yards and 2 touchdowns in 5 postseason games. Now, that's an impressive resume, right? But here's the thing: Gallup's career was unfortunately plagued by injuries. In fact, some believe that his injuries may have led to his early decision to retire. After battling through some tough seasons, particularly in 2023, where his numbers dipped compared to previous years, Gallup's production with the Cowboys began to suffer. Despite his undeniable talent, the injuries seemed to take a toll on his body, and the team eventually made the difficult decision to release him in March of 2024. It wasn't just a simple case of poor performance, or losing his spot to a younger player. No, Gallup's decline in production was largely due to injuries that he simply couldn't shake off. After coming into the league with so much promise, Gallup's health struggles turned out to be his biggest obstacle. The Cowboys had high hopes for Gallup when they drafted him. He was meant to be a dynamic playmaker alongside Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. But injuries started to impact his ability to remain consistent on the field, which ultimately led to the Cowboys parting ways with him. But here's where things get interesting: Gallup's story was far from over. After his release from the Cowboys, Gallup wasn't out of the NFL picture just yet. In fact, just a couple of months after his departure, he signed with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, at the time, it seemed like a fresh start for Gallup, a new team, new environment, and an opportunity to get back on track. Fans were hoping he would make a strong impact in Las Vegas, especially with the Raiders' offense needing some help at wide receiver. But here's where things took a surprising turn. Gallup's time with the Raiders was extremely brief. He spent just 2 months with the team, and then in July of 2024, he announced his retirement from the NFL. Gallup had never even played a single snap for the Raiders, which made the decision all the more shocking. A lot of people thought he was done for good, and with the Raiders' release of him from the reserve/retired list earlier this year, it seemed like his NFL career had come to an end. But hold on, this is where it gets interesting. Fast forward to today, and the door to a potential NFL comeback is wide open for Gallup. That's right, Gallup is now eyeing a return to the NFL in 2025. The Raiders have officially released him from their reserve/retired list, and he's no longer bound by his decision to retire. Could Michael Gallup, at 29 years old, find his way back onto the field in the NFL? And more importantly, could he be the same player that once wowed fans in Dallas? Let's break down the possibilities. Let's talk about the elephant in the room: Gallup's health. The biggest question surrounding his potential return is whether or not he can stay healthy. Injuries plagued his final years with the Cowboys, and that's what led to his release. Gallup has always been a talented receiver, but the injuries really held him back. If he's serious about returning to the NFL, he's going to need to prove that he can stay on the field for an entire season and contribute at a high level. And that means putting in the work during the off-season training, staying in shape, and making sure his body is up to the grind of a full season. But here's the thing: Gallup is still young. At 29, he's far from washed up. Many wide receivers in the NFL play well into their 30s. If he can keep his body in peak condition, there's no reason why he can't still have a successful second chapter in his career. He's got great hands, solid route running, and a natural ability to make big plays. That won't just go away. Now, let's talk about where Gallup could end up if he decides to come back to the NFL. There are a few teams that could really use a player like him. First up, let's not forget the Dallas Cowboys. Gallup spent 6 seasons there, and while his time with the team ended on a bit of a sour note due to injuries, a reunion might not be out of the question. The Cowboys have been aggressive in adding pieces to their offense, especially in the wide receiver room, and adding a veteran like Gallup could give them more depth and experience. But what about other teams? The New York Giants are another team that could use a veteran receiver. They've struggled with consistency in their receiving core, and Gallup could provide a reliable option for Daniel Jones. Plus, his experience in big games would be invaluable for a team looking to make a playoff push. And what about the Chicago Bears? With Justin Fields continuing to develop, adding a veteran receiver could really help elevate the Bears' passing attack. Gallup could provide the type of steady presence they've been missing. And then there's the Tennessee Titans. With a strong defense but an offense in flux, adding a player like Gallup could give their receiving core a much-needed boost. Let's take a step back and reflect on Michael Gallup's legacy. Even if he doesn't make a successful comeback, his career has been a story of resilience and promise. From being a third-round pick to becoming a reliable contributor on one of the NFL's most popular teams, Gallup's impact on the Cowboys' offense should not be underestimated. He was the kind of receiver you could rely on to make big catches when the team needed him most. And with a potential comeback on the horizon, Gallup could very well find a way to reclaim that same spark. To wrap it up, Michael Gallup's potential return to the NFL is one of the most intriguing storylines to watch as we head into 2025. The NFL is no stranger to comebacks, and Gallup is a prime candidate to write a new chapter in his career. But will he stay healthy? Will he be able to make an impact again? The answer to those questions remains to be seen, but one thing is for sure: if Gallup does come back, it's going to be one of the most exciting and unexpected stories in the league. So, what do you think? Can Michael Gallup come back and make a big splash in the NFL? Or is his time in the league truly over? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you're excited about the potential comeback, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates on this story. We've got more NFL news and analysis coming your way, so stay tuned.